Nick and Leslie talking holiday cheer. Hallmark movies, cozy nights, and a festive review today. Hey, grab a seat and a sweet treat, cozy up, push play. Movie cheers, what you'll hear this Hallmark movie day.
Nick and Leslie are back here, and we are going to Broadway. Let's play the trailer for A Carol for Two.
On Broadway.
This is Violet. Alex here is gonna show you the ropes.
To make it on Broadway, they'll have to sing for their supper.
We should probably choose a song for our duet. We need to bring our A-game.
Oh, I've got his A-game.
A Carol for Two, only on Hallmark Channel.
What did you think? What do you remember?
Always. Got sleepy towards the end.
Got stoned towards the beginning.
That as well. Wow. It was middle of the road for me. Some good, talented singers for who they are. But I don't think it's worth your time.
It's like, if you want the kind of Hallmark movie that does everything you expect with the most generic of female characters, if you don't even know or care what the Bechtold test is,
right, then
this is the movie for you. The whole time I felt like, is this sexist? So our main character, Violet.
Coming from a small town.
Comes from a small town, going to the big city to try and make it big as a singer.
In New York City.
She is as blonde as they come. And she is the dumbest character. I kept hoping for some kind of twist at the end where she's like, I've just been playing dumb. I know what's really going on.
Also, at that age, we're still lying.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
That's exhausting.
So, okay, plot. So, Violet starts with her small town having a huge going away party for her.
Break a leg, Violet.
Yeah, big banner.
I thought it said log.
Break a log, Violet.
Break a log.
Because she's going to
New
York to
City.
get a show on Broadway. She's so excited. It was an open casting call that she won. But as soon as she gets there, she finds out that the show is canceled. And nobody told her because she doesn't have an agent. So now she has nowhere to live because they were going to provide housing.
Is that normal?
Right?
For Broadway?
So then she goes to visit her aunt's friend, Hazel
Carter,
who has a restaurant off Broadway.
She inherited. It's like a jazz dinner supper club.
Yeah. Hazel was a fun character.
Hazel was fun. Yeah.
Hazel seemed to be the only character whose conversations did not revolve around the men in her life.
Oh my golly geez, that's right. That's true.
That's one of the points of the Bechtold test, that like if women only talk about men, then it's a problem. Anyway, so they do make a point to say that her restaurant is cash only, but they don't say why. And so they also make her kind of like gruff in a way. There's also a theme to this dinner theater besides like the Broadway theme. There's like it reminds me of the dinner time. Oh my gosh, it's in Hollywood Studios. Primetime Cafe.
Where they're a little rude, and so that's like what this is. And Violet is like too rude in the beginning because she decides to play along and work at this dinner club theater because she refuses to tell her dad and the community that like threw her a party that, hey, the Broadway show was canceled. We didn't have funding for it. So I'm just going to stick it out here in the city and continue to audition. What's wrong with that? To get other parts, as well as continue to work at a well-known dinner theater club that has scouts continually come to it.
Yeah. And she doesn't want to tell her dad that the show's canceled.
It's just so
like, hey, darling, everyone from the town wants to know when your show's going to be coming to Ogden. We'll all rent a bus and head out the 2-hour drive to go see you.
Yeah. Also, look, you have a dad that just calls to talk to you.
He seemed even dumber than her.
That's love, I guess.
I guess.
That's I guess what they call a family.
So Hazel says that she has to, since she's never waited tables, she has her shadowing with Alex, who also works at this dinner theater, is also a great singer. And
he's a looker.
He looks like a Disney prince.
Yes, he is.
The broadest of shoulders.
The broadest of
the
shoulders.
The biggest of jaw.
The biggest of jaws.
The deepest of voice.
The deepest of voice.
Yeah, he was impressive. I'm like,
he
wasn't the greatest actor, but like he seems like Hallmark's beneath him.
I was gonna say he probably knows he's not putting much forth a lot of effort, and if he does, he will go places.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to work hard. So take that and you take Hallmark as an easy gig for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did good.
Although we did, like, I don't know who's on the Pentatonics.
Oh yeah, we both were like, is he part of the Pentatonics?
He looks like a pentatonic. He looks like he went to Christian school.
I don't know, because the people I like go to Christian school, you know what they look like.
So he's also on his off time. He's a playwright.
In the nicest
musicals.
of apartments.
Yeah, he's very nice. Although
in New York City.
Although there was the scene where like they're sleeping together, not sexually, like. Sorry, Alex and his cousin.
Okay.
They're both on like couches
drugs.
Facing each other.
That cousin was on some sort of stimulant. He was a lot. That character was a lot, but I get it. So he did a good job playing his character, the cousin, because the cousin was always in the way. I mean, when I say medical sales rep energy.
So Alex's cousin has been staying with him because he just broke up with his girlfriend.
Chanel,
his fiance. And lost the deposit on.
She's
fiancée to someone else. Sorry, yeah. And so he's a lot, and he's staying with Alex, and he sees Violet at the bar, and he asks Alex to introduce her, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." And while they're talking, Violet's talking a lot about things that she would do in her hometown for her Christmas, and she's missing those things, and she's feeling homesick, and.
Things like
Brad, the cousin.
The father would make a Yule log.
Yeah.
A Yule log.
And so Brad, the cousin, he thinks she's hot and a great singer, but he doesn't give a shit about what she's talking about.
No.
He forgets all of it. And then Alex keeps like telling Brad, like, oh, hey, why don't you get her a Yule log? Why don't you do this for her? Why don't you take her on a date for these things? Because he was paying attention to everything Violet was saying. Which was sweet.
Which, actually, I just realized, I didn't make a note of it, but it was actually cute. The Artist Enclave should do this. A tree decorating thing. So back in the day, I remember we could like decorate trees and they would be auctioned off. But that was the sense of what was going on here. Was it the first Hallmark movie without a fundraising event? That actually is something, because that's something I'm going to later talk about. So anyway.
No, there was the fundraising. When they did the tree decorating contest.
What were they fundraising for? Or was that just artists selling their stuff? Well, okay. All right.
I think there might have been a charity involved. I don't know.
There might have been a charity involved. Okay. Well, it was actually cute. Instead of it being like a gala or whatever, it was we decorated Christmas trees. And one of them was, hand-blown ornaments that ended up breaking. Because the cousin is annoying and trips everything and just is a cluster. By the way, I thought it was cute doing a little walkthrough at a Christmas tree decorating thing.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was cute. It's a little different, but so still not worth saying.
They're at this competition because Brad inadvertently said that Alex's neighbor is his girlfriend. And he begged Alex to keep playing along with the ruse. And all of that, it's weird. It's like... So the whole premise of this movie is everybody is lying to Violet. They're all little white lies, but they keep piling up.
It's exhausting.
And then it eventually becomes they are emotionally manipulating her to sleep with Brad.
Yes.
And Violet is completely unaware of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't they know that she's our main character?
That's not a girl's girl. The neighbor that was pretending to be no. Even though she was like, we need to tell, but still, not a girl's girl. Like, come on.
Yeah. And it's interesting, though, because I do want to give the movie credit for this, because this is not something I have seen in movies a lot, where our main character is our hero, but we're spending a lot of time with people backstabbing her. And
Hallmark, it was a lot to keep track of, kind of.
Yeah. It just seemed like
more advanced of a plot than they were prepared to deal with.
In such a short amount of time, like an hour, 24 minutes.
Because like the movie just, it as time goes on, we start to hate everybody. We hate Violet for being dumb. And we hate these characters for hurting Violet. Mm-hmm. So it's like, Hallmark, you're losing us. And at least they put some really pretty duets in there.
Yeah.
So the actress who played Violet was one of the Bellas in Pitch Perfect.
I'm sorry, state that again?
Isn't she one of the Bellas from Pitch Perfect?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty confident that it's not one of them.
So I can't look it up. But she was in the Rockettes Christmas movie from last year.
Yeah, she was in the Rockettes Christmas movie from last year.
Which I don't think she sang in.
No, she just kicked a leg. So...
Oh, I guess, yeah, you're probably right. Because I feel like I looked her up when we watched the Rockettes movie last year.
Okay, so you might be thinking of like Brittany Snow, but there's no.
Might be
she's
right.
not. I'm like no, yeah. So it's not anyway. We were looking at Pitch Perfect cast from 2012.
All right, well, I wrote Alex is very rude to the manager.
But like Alex is clearly calling out nepotism on Hazel because we don't know how long Alex has been working at this at the Jazz Cafe. Each of these servers gets a chance. We don't know if it's throughout the week or what, but to actually perform at the supper club.
Yeah.
But there's a big show on Christmas Eve, and there's like some extra big scouts that will be going on.
I feel like it's kind of based off of the Comedy Cellar in New York City, where like people who want to be comics have to work there for like years before they get a shot at like a decent time slot to perform.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. And so of course nepotism comes in, and there is or there are, Broadway supper, I don't want to say supper club, but restaurants where they're performing all around you. And I'm sure there's also the concept from that. I don't know how often scouts go in there to actually look for talent. Or even an agent, but that's what this is saying. Anyway, so Alex calls out nepotism on Hazel and Violet, which is very understandable, but then Hazel gives Violet and Alex a duet for Christmas Eve show, and they're just excited to close out the show, but they just can't get their act together to do a duet together, but yet all along this entire time they're doing duets together.
Yeah. And of course,
don't even know it.
Yeah, and of course Alex keeps falling deeper in love with her.
We end up at a senior retirement home for Broadway show actors.
Yeah, that's right.
We were like, where are we at? Why all of a sudden are there some spunky, seasoned people?
And the songs that they do sing, it seems like they're almost all public domain Christmas songs.
Yeah, all very
there is one
religious
song,
faith songs.
The Christmas song. That's one that they do, right? The chestnuts roasting.
Chestnuts roasting, yeah.
And that one they performed 3 times throughout the movie.
3 times.
So I feel like they paid for the rights to that one song, so they're like, we're gonna use the fuck out of it.
But to play it once, so we're only gonna do certain sections each time will be a little different. And I'm like, I think they finally finished the entire song on the 4th take.
And then the final song that they end up performing is an original song, so they don't have to pay for anything there.
Oh yes, that Alex wrote.
There was also a subplot of what do you call it when you pick on an ethnicity? That Christians love to. There was a subplot of like, woe is me, I'm Christian, and the big city doesn't want me to be Christian.
Oh my gosh.
You know what word I'm trying to say? Whatever. Because like when she goes to her open casting call, she's like, I'm going to perform A Christmas Carol.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're like, oh.
Come tell it on the mountain.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, honey, I'm Jewish.
I'm Jewish. Which is very understandable because I'm like, why are you doing it? And she's like, good. And they're like, done. Good. Good. I'm glad you didn't get it.
What? If you're going to a Broadway audition, why would you sing Come Tell It on a Mountain?
Right.
Why not a Broadway song?
Why not a Broadway song? Have you heard Sound of Music?
Memories. Yeah. Or what is it? Taylor the Latte Boy? It's a song that people, from the little I know about Broadway, when people audition for Broadway stuff, one of the most common songs being performed is Taylor the Latte Boy.
I feel like you have told me that before, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This vaguely sounds familiar.
Taylor the Latte Boy. Something like that.
We were having a moment.
Okay.
There was a scene though in the very beginning. I was kind of touching on it earlier. It just cracked me up. Still not fully worth watching, but this one scene in the early third of the first part of the movie, where Violet is learning how to serve. And again, the theme of this dinner supper theater is that also, besides singing, they're kind of rude to you. Like someone asks about like, oh, do you have any plant-based food? And they're like, all of it's plant-based. Like, clearly not.
Yeah.
Also, some of our tummies get upset when we eat red meat, so we don't always want meat as an option. Anyway, Alex is showing Hazel how to serve, and Violet how to serve. So Violet has these 2 big plates full of food, slams them down on the table like, here's the grub you freaking asked for, and eat up, you dirty hooligans. I don't know, something of that manner. And it was just... I felt like no one was prepared for the amount of effort she was going to put out. So like everyone was just a little caught off guard, and it made me laugh, but also, yeah, I was high, so we were in the giggles.
It's funny too that most of the food was fake prop food.
Yes, a lot of
fake
fries.
Plastic food. The milkshakes were all like, they weighed too little, and they didn't slosh around.
They didn't slosh around at all.
And it seems like this restaurant only serves steaks, mashed potatoes, and milkshakes.
With the biggest slap of butter on the steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about crazy background Santa?
Oh my goodness.
I don't even remember the premise of it. There's a scene where they're having a conversation outside.
He was, I think, one of the scouts.
I think he was just a homeless guy that they put in a Santa suit. And they're like, you want $20 and a hot meal? Stand behind these characters. He was skinny. He was unshaven.
Oh, we're talking about 2 different people?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that one. That one.
He was very dirty. Not a white beard. It was like a...
was taken into account.
Yeah. And then when they had these outside scenes, I swore the background characters kept cycling through.
Oh my gosh.
It's like they walked in the behind them, then they'd walk in front of them.
This was very budget friendly. And you could, yes, obviously tell. And we get it. Budget's a budget. You know, we got to follow it sometimes. Not. Hello, your Hallmark. But they had 8 actors that were changing out hats, glasses, and scarves, literally walking in a circle as these 2 are having a conversation. Like, it's the busiest streetway. It was hilarious. That was funny. The background jazz performers on the stage, fantastic.
Do you think they were miming on their instruments? Or
I don't know, but they were good. Like, I can still hear it.
Well, like, the vocals were definitely pre-recorded in, like, stage.
Oh, no, I meant, like, you know, right when they're like, okay, next, or, you know, in between.
Not like, I would enjoy this dinner theater if there were no singers.
Yes. Yeah.
Not that the singers were bad, but...
Right, but also...
I don't want, like, a Broadway-style singer.
Yeah, and they were just so starstruck when Violet sang, and, like, was she good? Yes, but... Am I gonna stop eating? No.
Yeah, it was funny too that like everyone stopped to watch her sing, and I'm like, you can listen to her sing and still keep doing your job.
Yeah,
it's a dumb thing to point out, but
yeah.
I did like this moment when Violet was on the phone with Alex.
So Reggie has his little ball stuck. I need to go save him.
So there was this really sweet moment when Alex was on the phone with Violet. And they're talking about Brad, Alex's cousin, who has been lying.
Again, everyone manipulating her.
Yeah. And she's like, Brad's a really good guy. And Alex is like, yeah, he is. And she says, I just don't know if he's my guy. I thought that was a cute line.
Oh, yeah, there's something. Oh, never mind. Mm-hmm.
And now, I don't recall the ending, but when Violet and Alex get together, was Brad okay with it? Because no one would be unhappy in the end of a Hallmark movie.
Are you telling me neither of us remember the ending that we watched? I remember you asked me, did you take notes? And I'm like, yep.
Their duets were cute, and the final song they played, which is one that Alex's character wrote, was called Who Knew It'd Be You This Christmas, and I thought it was a cute song.
We might listen to it later on in between Casey Musgrave's Christmas show on Spotify. Yeah. This is not a sponsored event. Maybe. We'll see. Will it be a present without a bow? Just kidding. Both. No, but it's unlicensed. It's new. We might learn it.
Yeah. I assume Hallmark has it up on Spotify. I don't know. I'm giving this, for writing, a 3 out of 10, acting a 4 out of 10, because as annoying as Brad was, he was a fun character.
Yeah, he did his part. He did his role.
Did a lot.
He did a lot. And it's like you worked on that one character.
Alex was just barely performing his character. And Violet, if she was supposed to be playing like a brain-dead 50s bimbo, she did a great job. She was not a believable human being. Yeah. She didn't seem like a woman who was born and raised in the 90s or 2000s.
But she's nice to look at for those time frames. How about, can we just put her in like a 50s Christmas? Like, give me a period.
The Rockettes one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't want to say housewives, but I want like.
Oh, like that.
I want a mid-century modern one with her, but I want her as a single gal.
Like that show we watched about the Why Women Kill,
stuff.
Why Women Murder.
Precisely.
Yeah, she would be good in that.
Exactly. Yeah, that as well. But anyway, those.
Directing, I'm giving it a 4. I did like the duet scenes; they were beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. The director went very heavy, or the cinematographer went very heavy on the mist filter on the lenses.
And
all the lights on the tables were so glowy.
And I don't know if that was because they were trying to blur out the background that is not decorated well enough compared to just the Christmas trees that are in the foreground of it all, of the scene. So, but it was frosty heavy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that was a Carol for 2. Do we want to put together like a ranking for you or something?
I don't think so. Leave a comment if you would like us to come up with a ranking for me.
Okay.
But
bottom
this
half,
is
top half.
Bottom half.
Bottom half.
Worst? But no, not worst. But it's it could, if there are worse ones, it could be bumped up to the bottom half of the top. But or else it's middle of the road, but it is leaning more towards bottom, because I am hoping there are still better to come.
Okay. Well, how about this? Since I'm like ranking my stuff across all the movies I see all year, what if you just rank it on a 1 to 10 Hallmark scale?
Why do we have to peer pressure it?
Oh, okay.
Fine, 2.
Oh.
3.
Wait.
3.
It's 1. 10 is the best, I guess, on the
10 is the
Hallmark
best,
scale.
yeah. So I'm going to say this is a 3.
This is a number 3.
I think
Hallmark
if something hits a 5 up, you should watch it. But this is a 3.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We watch it so you don't have to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And we'll see you for the next one.
Cheerio.